I'm Lorraine Ballard Morrill. I have to admit it. I am a makeup fanatic. It's not that I wear a lot of makeup, but I like to buy a lot of makeup and I like to experiment. And so it's really so exciting to speak to someone who actually does makeup for a living. She is an international makeup artist, LYN'E Walk. She is here with us. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me, Lorraine. Thank you so much.
You are a Philadelphia native, right?
Yes, I am.
Born and bred?
Born and raised in the heart of Germantown.
Yes, and yet now you are working internationally. You work for Fashion Week, both in New York and London.
Yes.
Wow, what a journey that must have been to get from where you started out to flying across the ocean to do these international fashion shows.
Yes. You know what? I am so blessed and so honored. I love what I do. I get to meet some amazing people. And it's not about where you start. It's about where you finish, and just enjoy the journey.
So I've always been curious. You see these fashion shows on television, online, etc., the runways and all that. But what you don't get to see so much is the behind the scenes. Try to paint a picture for us about what it's like to be behind the scenes at one of these very high-level, high-fashion runway shows.
To be honest, it's a lot of chaos. I'm just being honest. It's so much chaos. I mean, because you have your hair team, you have your stylist team, you have the models. You know, most likely the designer has already done the casting of the model. So you don't know if it's necessarily going to be an all-women show, or if it's going to be women and men show. So, I mean, everyone's working together. And then, you know, once the look is created, the makeup look is actually created, every single model has to have that same makeup look, right? So here it is. You have to create that same look on everyone. And how is it actually going to work? It's a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of chaos. It's a lot of consistency as well. That you have to really concentrate on what you're doing.
I can imagine, because some of those high fashion runway looks are so out there.
Yeah.
Really out there.
Yes. I remember actually this last show that I finished up in London. I was actually assistant lead artist from London. Her name was Michelle Webb. This was for a designer by the name of lyne. And he wanted gorgeous dewy skin. Yet he wanted lime green eyelashes and hot pink eyelashes.
Wow.
And some may look at that, okay, that's pretty easy, but actually it's not, because if you really want the color to come up really well, you have to take that eyelash through a little process and paint it white. Then come back over with those actual colors. Okay. So, and then you have to be extremely neat, because realistically backstage, you don't really have that much time. So speed is another thing that you have to take into account. Yeah. So not only does that skin have to be gorgeous, and you have to make sure that each and every single lash is meticulously painted.
That is really interesting. Well, you know, I think that what's so true for the really great makeup artists, they really are artists. This is an art.
Yes, it really is. And that's the way that I've always looked at it, as an art. This is not makeup for me. This is an art, because each and every face that you encounter, whether it is a male or female, that's a new bone structure. That's a structure that you have to actually look at and say, okay, where should this be placed? What should I pull back? What should I put a little bit more on? So makeup to me is an art.
You have ambitions to begin your own line of makeup. Tell us about that.
Yes, I do. I'm very, it's a project actually I have been working on for about 3 years and developing the ingredients for an actual cosmetic line. What I'm actually going to come out with is lipsticks, lip liners, and lip glosses. So it took me about 2 to 3 years to actually get the ingredients down pat, because there's certain oils and certain waxes that you want to create, whether it's ultra moisturizing, a matte or cream lipstick.
Yes.
And it has to be tested. It has to be gluten free. That is something that I'm extremely excited about. I'm going to launch with about 14 colors, ranging from your ultra nudes to your lavenders to your reds and to your pinks. So beautiful colors coming for each and every woman. And I'm just extremely excited about it.
That is very cool. I know that your design for the lipstick case took something as well, right?
Yes. So here it is. You know, I guess this is where the NBA kicks in. I had to pull back from artist mode. I said, okay, this is the NBA side of me coming out. What I didn't know, because again, this is something new for me, was that packaging would take so long. just actually designing the case and really getting it out how I want my cosmetic line portrayed. Okay. So it took me a little while to actually design the case. And then once the case was designed, okay, does the actual lipstick mold fit inside the case? And how does this particular color of lipstick look actually with that case? Should the case be round? Should it be square? So, I mean, it's very meticulous.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, what should the actual color of the case be? Because again, this line is going to represent me, and what I represent is the everyday woman that wants to look beautiful, wants to look classy, and just wants to be honest, regain her self-esteem back.
Well, that kind of leads into the effort that you're going to put into giving a portion of the proceeds of the sales to a very good cause.
Yes, this is something that I believe strongly in, something that I'm a part of now. And this is actually an organization called V-Day. And what I love about it is the fact that it's national and international. So it's touching each and every community, whether it's in Pennsylvania, whether it's in California, whether it's in Africa, whether it's in London. This is an organization that actually fights to stop violence against women, whether it's rape, incest, molestation, or any sort of violence. And that's what I'm about. And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's not just about makeup. It's having makeup with a purpose.
Well, you have traveled quite a ways from your early beginnings in Philadelphia to flying across the globe to London and working internationally with these very high fashion runway shows. It's very exciting. It must be. Did you ever dream you would be doing something like this?
You know what? So interesting. I guess about 15 years ago, I had a dream that I was going to be running my own makeup company. God placed that dream in my heart. But it was like, I said, okay, all right. But as far as the journey to get there, I'm like, okay, I go from corporate America to actually, on some of the best runways, working with some of the best designers and some of the best models and artists and things of that nature. So no, actually I didn't. But what I will say is just growing up as a child, I was always creative. So at the age of 14, I remember my mother saying to me, I was actually working, because I grew up in Germantown. So I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken on Germantown Avenue, Shelton Avenue.
I know where that is.
Yeah. I would take my little earnings and I would go downtown on a Fabric Row and buy material. And she would say to me, what are you doing with this stuff? And I would be putting pieces together because I was designing dresses at that time. But I didn't know how to sew. There was a woman who lived across the street from me, a neighbor. I loved her to pieces. I would draw these visuals out, and she would sew them up for me.
Nice.
And I remember her coming to my mom and, her saying to my mom, what do you want to do with this girl? And my mom would say, I don't know what I'm going to do with her, but whatever she does, I know it's going to be great. So thanks, Mom.
Yeah. So you got a lot of support in your family.
Yeah. And my father. Yeah. And my grandmother, I just come from a lineage of beautiful people, artistic people, such as my father and my grandmother. My grandmother was a seamstress. She went to Princeton. She was a playwright herself.
Really?
Yeah. She does a lot of things actively in the community now. So, and that's the thing that she would always say to me. She would always say, and she still says this to me, whatever you do, be great at it, but never forget where you come from. Never forget the people who are behind you. And that's the community, and that's the children.
Yeah. And you mentioned your dad was also creative as well?
Yeah. My dad is pretty creative. I remember as a kid, he's creative with his hands. He built the car from scratch and, wow. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that whole creative gene flowed on this side.
Well, clearly, because you are an artist and now you are an entrepreneur. When will we be seeing your new lipstick line come out, and what are you calling it?
The name of the lipstick line will be LYN'E, and you spell it LYN'E with an egu over the E. And it will most likely be out second quarter of 2015.
Well, we're looking forward to that. If people would like more information about you and hopefully your new lipstick line, LYN'E, how can they find out more?
You guys can definitely find me. I'm on all social media. Instagram, my name is LYN'E Walk, LYN'E WALKEMUA. Twitter, I am LYN'E Walk. Facebook, I am LYN'E Walk, LYN'E WALKE. And if you would love to see a portfolio of my work, you are more than welcome to see my website, www.LYN'EWalk.com.
Well, LYN'E Walk, international makeup artist, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, and thank you so much for having me.
I'm Lorraine Ballard Morrow.